Hey everybody, welcome to Guided Listening. I'm Jeff Antoniuk here from JazzWire, and we're going to listen to one of the most classic, most important, most played jazz compositions of all time, Miles Davis and the blues, Freddie Freeloader, of course, from the great Kinda Blue album. Before we get into that, I want to talk about you people giving me grief. I also want to talk about some of our upcoming jazz workshops. And you hear that? That's Boomer. There's somebody at the door to the studio here, and they're just going to have to wait. So, upcoming workshop. So, 2025 is kind of exciting. In January, we're going to be doing our 5th or 6th annual online workshop. We do this so that people from across North America and across the world can work with me and the rest of the faculty. And so we've been doing this since before COVID. It works really well for sharing information and playing together. So go to the website and you can find out about that. That's in January. In June, we're going to be doing our 2nd annual jazz workshop in Edmonton, Canada. In July, it's looking certain. As of today, we're going to be doing a workshop in Minneapolis, St. Paul in early July. Later in July, our 22nd annual JazzWire Summer Summit here in the Washington, D.C. area. So 4 workshops, 2 different countries. People from across the world can join us for the online one. So a lot of excitement. And so the website isn't even updated at this point, but if you have any questions, you can go to the website and see what we did last year, and we'll be getting that together for you soon. So exciting news that way. People giving me grief. It's so interesting. As we're doing this guided listening, I will say, and there, Miles Davis didn't mean to do that. That was a mistake. Do you hear how he played that rhythm wrong? I'm going to be saying that on this one too. And people get really upset with me about like, man, that's not a mistake, or man, it's art. You can't, there's no mistakes in art. And like, I kind of get it, because am I saying that when something was a mistake, when they didn't mean to do that, does that mean it's bad? Does that mean I'm angry at them? No, I never have that tone. I've never said that once. I'm saying that was a mistake. These are some human beings, and they screwed that up. They didn't mean to do that. Did it contribute to what happened in the studio that day, to the art? Absolutely, maybe. Right? It may have screwed things up. They may have had to stop the tape and go back and do it. That screw up wasn't as bad, so they kept it. And it's become part of the art. I can think back on my life, and there are screw ups that led to amazing things that I have. Yeah, not everything needs to be perfectly scripted. We wouldn't want it that way. But we're here to listen to human beings playing this music, and we're here to hear what they do that's interesting, that's correct, what they do that breaks the rules, what they do that was a screw up and they kept it anyway. And that screw up actually is kind of cool. So I'd invite some people to, kind of thank you for giving me the opportunity to explain a little further, maybe. But yeah, no, we're not going to stop analyzing. I'm a coach for this music, right? This is what I do. I help people get better by seeing what people did that worked, by seeing what people did that didn't work, by seeing what people that didn't work, but then how they fixed it. To me, that's the fascinating thing. That's what a pro does. Like, pro can do stuff correct all day long. I get bored with correct and perfect after a while. I love seeing a pro kind of mess up and how they recover, because that's something I can use. All right, so let's dig into this. We're going to be listening to, this is the last song from Kinda Blue. Of all the guided listenings that I've done, this is, we've done all of them except this one. So here we go. We're going to be listening to John Coltrane on tenor saxophone, Cannonball Adderley on alto saxophone, Miles Davis on the trumpet saxophone. We're going to be listening to Jimmy Cobb on the drum saxophone, Paul Chambers on the bass saxophone, and Wynton Kelly on the piano saxophone. This is the only tune on the Kinda Blue album that he plays on. Bill Evans plays on the rest of the album. So, there's been several books written about this recording session, and many books written about this era of Miles, how he was moving away from the more, let's call it, traditional sound of Wynton Kelly, and, looking forward with the way that Bill Evans was playing. So, so this was sort of a I'm not sure what was going through Miles' head. Again, it's probably in the books, but you know, he's kind of looking back and giving a nod and getting Wynton Kelly on the session that Wynton probably thought he was on the whole session, and there's like another piano player there. I think that's how it went down. So, but Wynton Kelly plays fantastic on this. So let's listen to this tune. It's about 10 minutes long. So as always, I'll be, you know, talking over little moments of it and seeing if we can't discover some cool things. There is, I'll just say right up front, a chord that's never there on any other blues that they put on this chord. In the last two measures, the turnaround chord, relative to the key, it's a flat 7. So it's kind of interesting. So we'll hear that appearing in the tune. All right, let's go. So listen to this melody. Half notes, right? But they didn't start out that way. Miles played something different. So it's really simple, but there's a lot of inconsistencies between the three horn players. How they're holding out notes or not. That was better. That was nice. Yeah, they're getting better as they go along. That short note. And some of them are doing it, some of them aren't. So an example of inconsistencies that given a little rehearsal, they would have fixed. And they got better as they went along. It's kind of cool. Wynton Kelly. Swinging, swinging, swinging. You know, I'm struck right now by how dynamic his lines are. How he's really, man, really digging in, really exaggerating moments, right? That was more even. Listen to that rim shot. 1, 2, 3. Jimmy Cobb rim shot on beat 2. That just really locks things in and gets things swinging. Something interesting happens. He does a little fill, and his rim shot is where now? Shifted to beat 4. I don't think he meant to do that, shift from 2 to 4. I played drums, and that happens to me, and when it does it, I get really embarrassed, like, man, I suck on drums. But I just got permission from Jimmy Cobb. Thank you, Jimmy. Did you hear how the rhythm section kind of smoothed out for Miles? Yeah, it'd be interesting to go back and see what they did. It wasn't just intention in the muse. They did mechanical things to make that happen. All the space in Miles' solo. It's just, man. Again, the way Wynton played and the way Miles is playing, where he's really hitting some notes. How he started that line and got so much louder as he went higher. Like really expressive. His little bends, boot down, little half valve stuff. And how he really articulated that. Do 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 da da. Really big variation in his articulation. And that is the stuff we hear as emotion, as swing. Those bends, I love it. And again, that strong articulation there. Okay, that's interesting. The last 4 measures of the chorus, he's now done it 4 times. that's when he starts playing the bebop lines with the harder articulation. I think he's done it 4 choruses in a row. Let's see if he does it coming up here. So his next line here. Not quite that time. Ending his solo. That was interesting. I'll have to listen back to that. And Coltrane coming in sort of chanting, which is the direction he was going in his playing. It's cool to hear here early on. So way less space, way more double time. Dugga, 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 dugga. Interesting. Train is not playing the way Wynton and Miles did with that expressive relative volume thing. He's kind of more full out. He's declaring, right? I mean, there's variation. He's not playing robotically, but he's, you know, declaring this stuff as opposed to, you know, the way Wynton and Miles will play it. Interesting. And how swinging it is behind him. You know, Train isn't connecting to the rhythm section the way Wynton was, for sure, and the way Miles was. He's, you know, Train's a little more kind of over top, right? He's playing so much double time. He's literally playing at a different tempo than they are. And that, again, that's not me calling John Coltrane bad, but it's part of his sound at this time in his career. So, Cannonball and the blues, right? All these guys in the blues, but man, to hear Cannonball play the blues is great. And to hear repetitive and motivic moments in his playing is kind of cool to listen for. Lots of double time as well. But do you hear how he's got those dynamics in his line, more like Wynton and Miles, less like Train? That motivic thing, and he likes doing it there, measure 9 and 10, because the chord change goes down a whole step, so he often will repeat his idea because of the chords. Let's see if he does that thing here again. Right? He often does that. So it's the form and the harmony are making him do different things in his playing. They were making Miles articulate differently in different parts of the tune. The song is doing that. Here comes that part again. Let's see. Not really. He played an idea and then kind of left space. That's cool. Changed it up. Here's that spot again. Yep. All right, bass solo. So Paul Chambers starts soloing, right? Definitely solo. And next chorus. So I wonder what happened here. He's more walking than soloing. He was clearly soloing that first chorus. Now it's sort of become a walking solo. A miscue? Was the band supposed to come in? What's this chorus about? Miles comes in with a different rhythm than the other guys. So when you play this song, So many people play it wrong. They play a dotted quarter to an eighth note. That's not how it goes. It's two half notes. It's 1, 3. Dead on 1, dead on 3. And it's interesting, Miles died out early on that note and Train was left holding his note. So little inconsistencies. And I think the technical term for that is sort of grinding to a halt. You know, those were pros. They knew how to like fake the ending, but that wasn't quite figured out or, you know, as slick as 100 other Miles Davis endings. So yeah, I look forward to your your comments. But to me, that only makes a masterpiece like this more of a masterpiece. I'm not looking for perfection, but I will point out when these guys, when there were human things going on that they didn't mean to go on. Was the aesthetic to strive for perfection? I'm not even sure it was. But when we hear the melody get better and better through 6 iterations, these 4 measures, by the third 4 measures, they're playing better together. Oh yeah, okay. We can hear a development, and that means it started at a different place. So yeah, I coach bands. I practice every day. I go out and do gigs, and I'm always striving for that next level. But I don't think... I'm rarely striving for perfection. Like, yeah, I want to get, you know, this just right and this just right, but perfection isn't the word that I'm after. And I like the humanity and I like hearing the struggle in somebody's playing. That said, I go for a perfect tone all the time. But the thing is, I go for it knowing it's never going to happen. I practice for perfection so that on the gig, when something happens, the wheels don't come off the cart. I'm still in control. Right. So it's, yeah, you know, it's a worthwhile discussion on, you know, sort of the philosophy of how this stuff happens. But, you know, that inconsistency of Jimmy Cobb having the rim shot on beat 2, he does a little fill, but comes back and does the rim shot on beat 4. Not sure he meant to do that. The thing is, it doesn't matter. And the other thing is I've listened to this track easily 100 times and never noticed it until this morning walking the dog. So yeah, it's cool. Yeah, these are the things to listen to. So hopefully you found something in a beloved song that you probably listened to many times. I'd love to hear what you hear in this, what's meaningful in this or in any other track to you. And then to me, the cool thing is taking this information and listening to the next song. Even if the next song is a Taylor Swift song or a Stevie Wonder song or whatever. Like, music is music. The building blocks are the building blocks. And, you know, how we can listen deeper into other music is very, very fun. So thanks for being on this trip with me. And yeah, more information is going to be coming about the Winter Summit, which is online for people all across the world. That's in late January. In Edmonton, Canada in late June, the Canadian Jazz Summit. Looks like mid-July is going to be in Minneapolis, and then the end of July in the Washington, D.C. area. And these are different, you know, different lengths of days, and it's all small group improvisation based, but they'll each have their own feel. So pretty exciting. All right. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for listening to some Miles with me, and we'll see you next time.